how many sets, how hard should you exercise, how long should you exercise for? Some of the most controversial questions when it comes to exercise, because people argue about it all the time. How long should you box for? How long should you run for? How long should you lift heavy weights for, or should you lift heavy weights at all? Questions with lots of different answers. And I always have a bit of a joke about this, because if I didn't joke about it, I'd cry. I've been an exercise coach all of my life, and if you talk to 100 personal trainers, exercise coaches, social media influencers about how to get healthy, fit and strong, and how often, how long and how many, you'll probably get 100 different answers. And it's really interesting because people are very happy to tell you what to do. But I've got a better question. What can your body do? And if your body can do something, that means it's capable of doing that. So it's only going to get better if you go harder or longer or do more or put in more effort. Now, there's a big argument about whether you should go longer or whether you should put in a higher effort. But here's a very logical question. If you go longer, so you put more stress on your joints, there's more chance of overuse injury, there's more chance of getting bored, there's more chance of you stopping your exercise program. Why would you make an exercise program longer? It's just, to me, it's a very logical question. If most people do zero exercise, anything past zero is going to be complicated to get people to do. So, and I always ask this question when I'm in groups of people, have you ever been to the gym and somebody's given you 20 minutes on the treadmill or 30 minutes on the cross trainer, or told you to walk for an hour on the treadmill? How long does that feel? And the general public answers me pretty violently and aggressively, it feels like forever. 30 minutes feels like 3 hours. So if somebody feels like they're exercising for 3 hours, there's two complicated things there. One, they're likely to stop because they're bored, or that it just is too hard and too long. And if you put in a large amount of time into your exercise, is it possible that long exercise is making us fatter? Now, that's a very controversial question, I get that. But I've been doing this a very long time, and there seems to be a reward ratio. So if I exercise for a short period of time, it doesn't feel like I've done enough. A lot of people share that with me. But if I go out for 45 minutes or an hour, I feel like I've done so much exercise. I've been out for an hour. I deserve a little reward. So instead of having one cookie, I have 2 or 3. Instead of having one glass of wine or a beer, I have 2 or 3. Instead of having a small serving of dinner, I have a large, big serve of dinner because I've exercised for so long. But the longer you exercise for, the less energy you actually use because you slow down. And a lot of people use exercise to burn calories, and I'm just going to use this as a very important side note, and again, a little bit controversial, but think about it from a logical, common sense point of view. I don't want to burn any fat when I exercise, and I don't want to burn very many calories, because I want to use the activity that I do, the exercise that I do, the movement, whatever you want to call it. And I don't like to call it exercise because most people hate exercise. I like to call it a stimulus so that my body becomes a fat burning machine for the times that I'm not exercising. And this is just very simple again. For you personally, how hard should you exercise? How long should you go for? Is it possible that if you go at 100% effort, you'll get 100% result? If you put in 50% effort, which is what walking and plod jogging and long classes and long, boring, monotonous exercise is, it's a long time, but you can't put in a hard effort. You can go hard or long, but not both. So if you go really hard, you get really puffed, you overload your muscles and bones, you literally challenge your body. So your body says we have to change, we have to get fitter, we have to get stronger. And if you're fitter and stronger, and there's 2 very important things there, if you're stronger, if you have maintained your muscle or you get more muscle, you get a bit bigger engine, so you get a faster base metabolic rate, your body burns more calories at rest. You get a stronger body, you can do everything in your life faster, so you burn more calories during the day because you've got a faster metabolic rate because you're going faster. And you've also got a high RQ for fat burning when you're resting. So if you exercise really hard, you don't burn any fat when you are exercising. So Rowie, do you do exercise to burn fat? No. I exercise because I want to turn my body into a fat burning machine when I'm resting. So the answer to the question, how long should I exercise for? What should I do? That's a very simple answer. Go as hard as you can for as long as you can, and that's about 10 seconds, which is as close to zero as you can get. So you push it 100% effort, knowing, and think about this mentally, If you know that you only have to go for 10 seconds, if you go out for a 100 meter sprint, so you're going to do it one time, versus you've got to go out for a 10K run, which one are you going to put in more effort? People say, oh, but it's 10 kilometers. Yeah, but you're going to pace yourself through the 10Ks, aren't you? Because it's so long. But if you go out and put in 100% effort, get puffed, in a minute or two, you might be able to go again if you want to. But that 100% effort stimulus changes your whole body chemistry. It changes your body to want to burn fat when you're resting. Respiratory quotient simply means where are the calories coming from right now. So your respiratory quotient, when you're going at 100% effort, you're not burning any fat. But your respiratory quotient, if you're really fit, and you're sitting on the couch watching telly, now you've got a fast fat burning machine. And I'll use that as a simple example. If you've got one person that's really fit and another person that's unfit and they're both watching telly, the person that's really fit will be burning calories faster than the person that's unfit. And not only will they be burning calories faster, but they'll be burning predominantly fat. Your body becomes a preferred fat burning machine when you're really fit. And that just again makes sense, because if you're going to only burn carbohydrate when you're exercising, your body says, well, we only can store half a kilo of carbohydrate, so we better save that for our exercise, because we're always going to punch really hard, it's going to kick really hard, it's going to sprint really hard, she's going to go as hard as she possibly can, lift heavy at 10 seconds, hard effort. So when she's resting, we better make sure that we save that carbohydrate for her hard effort, and let's burn fat instead. So you turn your body into a fat burning machine. So rather than how many sets and how many reps and how often and all that stuff that people talk about with exercise and make it so complicated and so long and boring, how about keep with the logic and common sense? Go as hard as you can for as long as you can, which is about 10 seconds, because once you go past 10 seconds, you're not putting in 100% effort anymore. Psychologically, mentally, if you only have to go for 10 seconds, you go much harder. So you turn your body into a fat burning machine when you're resting, because you change your RQ. I think that's really easy. What exercise should you do? How about the safest one possible? Because obviously if you've got busted, broken joints, you can't exercise. But you might not like exercise at all, so just pick the one that you hate the least. Obviously, safer is in the upright position. The body's not designed to move on the ground, crawling or kneeling or sitting or lying down. That's not how the human body works effectively. To get all your muscles working, you need to be in the upright position. So anything in the upright position where you can go as hard as you possibly can for 10 seconds, if you can lift something safely up off the ground, as heavy as you possibly can for 10 seconds, you'll get fit, you'll get puffed, you'll get strong, you'll be lifting heavy, you'll be overloading every single, not only the energy systems in your body, your endocrine system, your central nervous system, your muscles, your bones, skeletal muscular system, cardiovascular, respiratory system, but you'll just be using everything together as a fighting machine, as a flighting machine, so that you can be healthy, fit and strong for the rest of your life, not just for as long as you can stick to a boring long exercise program, because long and boring doesn't create consistent regular exercise. There's very few people in the world who do long exercise sessions who keep doing it for the rest of their life. And the question that I always ask is this: even if you think you can exercise for an hour every day or 2 hours every day, or go and do a 45-minute class or run for 30 minutes, apart from the fact that you're pacing yourself because you can't go hard for that long, there will come a time in your life, sometime you have a baby, you go on holidays, you're really busy at work, you get stressed, stuff comes up, and you drop your exercise program because it's too bloody long. But if it's only 10 seconds, the beautiful thing about a 10-second exercise program, it makes you feel good. So if you get really puffed for 10 seconds, your brain chemistry changes, you feel fantastic, you get fitter, you get stronger, and guess what that leads to? Living your life to the max. Yeah, woohoo, live your life to the max.